do not actually need to write this on paper because I have notes for you today. I have notes for you. So you can just write this on your whiteboard desk. The reason you're writing this on your whiteboard desk is because this is review. So here's what. A quick recap of the video says this. There are teachers who will teach you. Sometimes you do law of sines and they'll show you the situations. And sometimes you do law of cosines and they'll show you the situations and you have to memorize that. I don't buy that. Like the less I have to memorize, the better. So here's what I do on every single problem I get. The first thing I want to say is it a right triangle? Because if it is, we go with SOHCAHTOA. But if I don't have an actual little fireplace drawn on there, it is not a right triangle. You can't assume it. You can't guess. I had someone in my last class say, but I could tell that's the hypotenuse at 23. And I'm like, you can't tell that. Maybe it's 95 degrees. So if it's not written there, you can't use SOHCAHTOA. So SOHCAHTOA off the table. Second thing I do, I always try law of sines. Here's why. It's the fastest. And what some of my friends are starting to realize is if you can have partners across from each other, law of sines is the way to go. So if I was doing this, it would take me literally 20 seconds to be like, okay, I'll set that up. Sine 71 over, I don't know why I forgot the n, over x equals, I want to go sine something else, but I don't know what those are. So right away, I'm like, I don't have enough parts. Once that happens, did you see that? 15 seconds. Once that happens, I say to myself, well, it has to be a law of cosines. And just like we said that law of sines is a saucy little minx who sometimes cheats on you, here's the deal with law of cosines. He's not that attractive, but he's faithful, right? He will never cheat on you. There's no tricks. If you can do law of cosines and you punch it into your calculator, right, and you'll look at it and be like, ugh, he's kind of ugly, but you know what? Faithful. We love him for that. So here's what. I am going to give you a formula, but then I'm going to show you that I don't use the formula. So here is the magical formula. The formula looks like this. If you want to write it down, if you didn't do it or kind of look at it off that video, it's a squared equals b squared plus c squared. And that's easy to remember because it kind of looks Pythagorean theorem-y. Then we're going to have, but it's not. So I got to keep going. So I'm going to say minus 2. Now check this out. Do you see how I have a B and a C there? Well, this is what I remind myself. I got to use that B and C twice. So there's B squared, there's C squared, there's 2BC. It gets used again, right? And that's actually supposed to be a little c. I'll make him little c. Now, at this point, you're thinking, okay, well, why is it called the damn law of cosines if there's no cosine in there? That's where he comes last. So the last thing here is cosine of 71, or cosine actually of A. Okay. Now, I don't know about you, that's crazy looking, right? And you got to put all your letters on and you got to do all that stuff. So I'm going to show you how I do it. Are you guys ready? You got to watch this really carefully. I start always with this guy right here. Hold on, let me erase that. I want you to think of this. The guys opposite each other are your anchors. Trav, I need you to watch this. The guys opposite each other are your anchors. Do you see how you have this guy and this guy? They, this whole time, are going to be your anchors, right? And so here's what I know. I'm going to put this guy in the very front because side, it's a little side. So I'm going to put my little anchor right here. X squared equals, thank you so much. Yes and yes. So here's what. I now have to use these two sides in my equation. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to say 9 squared plus 23 squared minus, guess what? I got to use them 2 times. 2 times 9 times 23 and then I go back to my anchor. It's in the beginning of your problem, and it's at the end of your problem. Here it is, cosine 71. Did I lose anyone how I set it up? The key is you got to start with your anchor pair. It starts you and it ends you, and everything else is goo in the middle, right? Now, here's what I need. I need every human in this room to get out a calculating device. We are going to punch it in because here he is. He's ugly. He's not very attractive, but he's faithful. And if you push it into the calculator, it will give you the right answer every time as long as you're careful. Are you ready? You're going to push it in right along with me. It's like we're in kindergarten where I'm like, repeat after me. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. 9 squared. 9 with the little squared button. Find your squared button. Thank you, Misha. Plus 23 squared. Minus 2 times 9 times 23 times cosine 71. Close that parenthesis. Enter. Did you get a big number? 475? Yeah, guess what? That's the wrong answer, but it's not. Here's what. 475 doesn't make any sense. That triangle cannot have a side of 475. It's too flipping big. What do I got to do? I got to square root it because that's what x squared is. So please, my potatoes, my sweet, sweet potatoes, do not get excited and circle that and be like, done on the quest. Because I'm like, that's a dumb answer. You got to square root it. X equals, you got that button on your calculator. It's not hard. 475, 21. I'm going to round it. 22. You're going to round correctly. How did you do? Do you guys get the hang of the idea that this formula is scary, but the setup, if you get this part, not bad, not bad. So guess what I have for you? That's right, I have some notes. I would like you to try this problem right here. I have it on here, or you can do it on your whiteboard desk. Here we go, rock and roll, my sweeties. You don't need it. Is that one yours already? Do you want it, or you want a clean one? Okay, I didn't know if you wrote that or someone else. You know what's so handy is this is all showing up on the video because I have my little walk around like, oh my God, you're sad and pathetic. Where is everybody? I don't know, I'll go check it. No, I don't think so. I will give it to you in just a second. You are doing this problem, but if you want to also do it on this, you can as well. We just do backwards, but no. Then we just find the angle, and the angles, it's, yeah. Huh? This is hard? No, it's not. It's not. That's, you know what? It's my goal. Yeah. Yeah, but you know, I just wanted to come in with it. Because then this was you, baby.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like I'm serving with court documents. Are we ready? Here we go. Let's do it. Are you guys ready? Everybody's watching, girls and guys. Thus, for me, I'm not a big formula fan. So for me, the starting point is my anchors, my beginning and my end. And it's always an angle side combination that are across from each other. If you don't have that, you can't really use the law of cosines. So here's what I got. I got this guy and this guy. That's my anchor pair, right? So here's what I know. It's going to be x squared equals, here's what's nice. I got to throw that 15 in there. I got to throw that 17 in there. And I got to use them 2 times. Here's where kids mess up. Number 1, That's a minus. God knows why. And it's 2 times 15 times 17. Literally in my head, I say, I got to use it twice. So I put the 2 in there. And then obviously, I got to have a cosine somewhere in there of 39. My calculator is going to do all of this. It's going to do it all. Again, he's not super handsome, but he's super faithful. So here we go. I'm going to say 15 squared plus 17 squared minus 2 times 15 times 17 times, bless you, cosine 39 equals, dun, 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 118. But that doesn't make sense. That's clearly too big. It wouldn't even make it. So I got to square root it. Got to square root it. X equals the square root of 118. Oops, go back. 118. And I get about 11. About 11. We okay? Is that bad? Here's one more for you to try, my lambs. What if I did it this way? Could you do that? I think you could. Honest to goodness, once you see the pattern, it's like, well, this isn't bad. Hey, I just made that 2 times 7 times 10. I turned it into 140 because I'm lazy and I want to do a little less work. But you don't have to because your calculator's doing it all anyways. 10 squared plus 7 squared, because it's quiet on the video now, so I'm talking. Minus 140 cosine 10, oh shoot, 106, close that up. I am getting, don't forget if you're gonna round, which I'm cool with today, round correctly. It doesn't round to 187, it rounds to 188 if you're gonna round. Everything. I rounded before, but after it's going to give you the same answer, 14. It'll give you the same. Whoops. 14. Can I see some fingers wiggling out there if you got the 14? Okay, that's forward. What happens instead? We do the same problem, but we got this number and we don't have that one. Can we go backwards? Again, I have this on your worksheet, but if you want it on your whiteboard, that is cool. Here we go. Oh, that was the wrong one. So I want to talk about this a little bit before we're going to set it up. So I'm going to show you something. I'm going to skip back a slide. So here we go. Always the same thing. We are looking for the diagonal pair. That's my anchor pair. So let's find that anchor pair. There it is, and there it is, right? That's my anchor pair. But on this one, we're looking for the angle. So the first thing I want to tell you is, because we're looking for an angle, we always ask our calculator at the end. I'm going to make that theta. I like theta better. I always ask my calculator at the end to go backwards. So here we go. Let's set it up. The side is where we start. 10 squared equals 13 squared plus 11 squared minus 2 times 11 times 13. Now I'm going to get a little weird here. Cosine theta. I'm going to, oh, come here, you. Cosine theta. I am doing that in blue for a reason. Here's what. Today on this one, I want all of this stuff eventually on the other side. I want to get this. This is my variable. I want that alone. But I need everyone to put their pencils down for like literally 2 minutes. Put your pencils down. This problem I'm about to show you, you would not freak out on at all. If I said 10 equals 6 plus 2 minus 2x. Actually, I'm going to make this bigger. 6 times. Okay, so let me ask you this. If you were doing this problem, would you go 6 plus 6, take away 2? Would you do that? No, I'm seeing Cole back there. No, I wouldn't. Here's what you would do. You'd get rid of this guy. You'd move that over. You'd, in essence, get rid of this guy. You'd move him over. And then the last thing you would do is divide by -2, right? That's what you would do. It would not scare you. It wouldn't flip you out. We are going to be doing that here as well. First thing I want all of you to do to see what we're doing, I'd like you to use your calculator. Justin, I'd like you to do this goo on your calculator. 2 times 11 times 13. We're going to change that into another number. You're probably not going to do this in the future. I just want to show you what we're doing. 2 times 11 times 13. I feel like it's 280 something. 286? You get 286? Okay, I want you to put 286 right there. Do you see what's happening here? I am multiplying these two guys together. So at the very end, I'm going to divide by this dude. But before I do that, these two stupid guys need to hop over to the other side, right? I need to move him over. And I need to move him over. So could you please, with your fancy little calculator, take 10 squared minus 13 squared minus 11 squared, and in a moment, give me that number. Because remember, when we're doing this, order of operations says before I can divide by this 2, I got to move that stuff over. That's what we're doing. You could, but you know what? At the very end, instead, you could just cross out the negatives. You'll see. It becomes negative every time, and you could get rid of the negatives. But that works, Jordan. That totally works. Okay, so here's what I got. You guys watching me? You're going to punch it in right along with me if you haven't. 10 squared. Yay. Take away. Did you get 190? 13. Yeah, that's good. 13 squared minus 11 squared. I literally just did it in my calculator. So here's what I have. Negative 190 equals negative 286, sorry, 286 cosine theta. I want the red stuff alone. So we're going to divide both sides. Jordan flipped it around a little bit so she didn't have negatives, which is super smart, but it doesn't matter if you want to just move this guy like this. I'm just going to cancel out those negatives. But if you even want, you got a calculator, it just doesn't matter. You're going to get a nice little decimal. Remember, the nice little decimals are how we ask our calculator to go backwards, right? It's that chart that I showed you in the very, very beginning. So here I go on my little calculator. 190 divided by 286. I got rid of the decimals before I started because I'm lazy like that. So here's what I have. 0.664 equals cosine theta. Please ask your calculator now to go backwards. Give me the angle that matches with this. Second, cosine, that's the second. 0.664. Share with your neighbors the angle that you got. Go ahead and round it to the nearest whole angle or down. Might go down. You guys got an answer you like? Did you get 48 degrees? You'll need to continue. Yeah? Yeah. You ready to try one on your own? No? Oh, so you're gonna ask your calculator to go backwards. So inverse cosine, 0.664. Got 1 through 1? Oh, that's why. So your negatives should cancel out.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
Every time they cancel out. Okay, try this one, my sweet potato. I don't know why I have yards up there. I don't know why I did that. Again, where's your starting point? The anchor pair. The anchor pair is this guy and this guy. That's our starting pair. Remember that the angle goes a bit back, the side goes in the front. So I like theta better. I don't know why this have X's. It's the stupid software, but there you go. If you can do this, you got this. Then we are just about done with math for 2023. And for some of my seniors, like you only have like one more semester of math left for your like life. How weird is that? Like if you're going to go be a English major, you might take a stat class and then be done. Try this one. Anchor pair is the key. And now you can see why I don't worry about the formula. That's why I don't worry about the formula. I heard you. And now you're on video. I heard that. Cosine theta. There we go. Honestly, when I do these, I do change this. Just this. Because that's what I'm going to divide by, right? And the other ones I don't change. I just move them. Because I'm lazy like that. And Jordan, do you see how every time you are right, you're going to get those negatives, but they are going to cancel out every single time. Okay, stop at where you're at. I got negative 935 equals, Justin, negative 1080. I'm going to move that 1080 to the other side. Those negatives are going to cancel. So if you're cool with that, you could just go ahead and cancel them out, but you don't have to. You can do the math if you want. So here's what I got. 935 divided by 1080 equals, it gives me a cute little decimal. He's very sweet. I like him. If you're going to round correctly. And then ask your calculator to please go backwards. Right. And I got a giant total of 30 degrees. Yeah? Did we do okay? Yeah? Oh, I took this 17 squared. I subtracted this guy over, and I subtracted this guy over. So 17 squared minus 30 squared minus 18 squared. Negative 1080. Do it on your calculator. Jackson, go 17 squared minus 30 squared minus 18 squared. Are we good? Okay, last thing to tell you. Here we go, bottom of your notes. I put this on so you would have everything all together. Do I worry about the formula like 18 different ways? I don't. Here's what I know. As long as I get the basics, that's my anchor pair. That's my anchor pair. And these are my other little guys, right? Here is the other guy. You got this? Here's what I would tell you. Some teachers, and I even did an A period, would say, oh, if you have this, you do this. If you have this, you do this. Here's how I'm going to tell you. Start here. Yeah? Start with this guy. If it works, use it. It's the faster method, right? You'll make less mistakes. Stop, you guys. Start here. But remember one thing. If you are looking for an angle, she may cheat on you. She may cheat. You might get two different answers. So that only happens with law of sines. And it only happens when you're looking for an angle. The other guy, use if law of sines doesn't work. That's it. That is first semester of pre-calculus. I'm stopping my taping. Goodbye, everybody.